Hello everyone, how's it going? Elliot here and welcome to the Retro Future. In front of me I have the Hyperboy by, believe it or not, Konami. This is an arcade system for your Game Boy. You basically plug your Game Boy in and you have a traditional joystick and some buttons that you can mash. It's a very cool device. I've finally got one. It's boxed. Let's take a look at it. So I bought this from Sendico, believe it or not. It's a website that allows you to bid on Japanese things, and I've got an unboxing video, I'll leave that up in the card. But yeah, I've been after one for a very, very long time, and I finally got one. And just look at it. Look at how happy this little dude is here with his... I love the black background here. It just shows the epicness of this. A very sort of 80s design on the top of the box, but people don't really want to see the box. Let's open it up. So this, I believe, was around about 100 British pounds, which is a little over $120, I think. And yeah, they're not the cheapest things in the world, but they are very cool. Here it is. Let's take this out of the bag. It runs off of two D-cell batteries which go in the bottom, and I'll show you why it requires batteries in just a minute. But there we go. They are absolutely enormous. I forgot these batteries even existed. You've got four little rubber feet on the bottom. I would go as far as to say that I don't think this has ever been used, or if it has, maybe only for a couple of days. And I can kind of see why that might happen. You know, the whole point of the Game Boy was that it was portable. You know, you could chuck it in your pocket. You're not going to be running around with this. It's probably a bit more of a home station thing. But I am going to show you why it is actually incredibly good in just a second. So, before we do any of this, let's see if there's any fantastic pictures here in the manual. So we've just got some diagrams of stuff, nothing too complex. Oh, look. I wonder... Oh, hang on. Oh! I did not know that you could do that. That is... Oh, wow. That is absolutely incredible. We're going to take a look at that in just a second. Jeez, I had no idea it could do that. I've never seen anyone taking that off before. I'm glad I looked at this because I've never seen that before. So it shows you here. Wow, it's even got a bloody English part of the manual. What? This is incredible. Set lever for 4-direction or 8-direction play. Yes. That is correct. You can do that. That is absolutely fantastic. Okay, so there we go. That is the manual. Very helpful stuff in there. Let's take a look at it in all of its glory. So you have down here your little control pad, and if you're wondering how it's going to work, basically there's just sort of pass-through buttons that when you press them, they're going to obviously activate through to the Game Boy below. There's no sort of like control thing going on where you're plugging in like a link port connection and having additional button functionality, but it is still a very effective way to make it work, and it works very well. Everything feels a little bit spongy, obviously, while you haven't got the Game Boy in there itself. You've got the power switch on the side. Now, the power switch is for the backlight. Well, it's not a backlight, it's a front light, but it's going to make your screen look backlit, and I'll show you that in just a second. You've got a speaker on both sides, which is amazing because the Game Boy actually has stereo output through the headphone jack, which sounds incredible, and you don't really get to experience that often unless you've obviously played your Game Boy with headphones. So your Game Boy is going to slot into there, and you've got a headphone jack at the bottom. It's not going to scratch anything, but it is just plastic on plastic. There is no sort of padding in there, but I suppose as long as you're just gentle, once it's in there, it's not really going to wriggle about. When it is in there, it's very heavy. Remember, you've got two D-cell batteries in there, and you've got your Game Boy, which has the 4 AA batteries, so it is quite a hefty thing. But you're not going to be picking it up. You're going to be setting it down. And when you've got everything in, this thing isn't going anywhere. This becomes a very, very solid little thing. Let's have a look at it. Right, well, I'm pretty much in pitch black because I just want to show how well the screen magnification and LEDs are working. As you can see, that screen is perfectly legible. There is nothing there that you cannot see. When you have all of the lights off, it is going to work the best. When you have lights on, you're going to get a shadow from the depth of the magnification window. In order for it to work, it has to be a certain distance. And if you have any lights on around you, that is going to cause a huge amount of shadowing on your screen. But the benefit is you can just slide up the little magnification. The LEDs are going to turn off, but if you then have a light source in your room, the screen's going to be perfectly visible and you've still got that really cool arcade system. So it is a very, very well made little thing. And it just goes to show how effective that small piece of engineering can be. And on the back of this magnification window is the plus and minus points for the LEDs to actually work. So there's no strange disconnecting of any wires, it just slides straight off. And what's also cool is behind a piece of tape you have a spare LED in case one of them is to break. So it's just a very well made little thing. So yeah, I mean, look at this. We're playing Trip World, an official copy, I might add. I've recently acquired that, which I'm very happy with. And yeah, it's in a little arcade machine and it is just so damn cool. Everything works perfectly well. There is really nothing that I can say at all. Obviously, there's not going to be any sort of latency or delay. The arcade stick itself is a little bit sort of clumsy feeling. It's not like a micro-switched thing, which a lot of the old arcade sticks would have actually been. So you are feeling a little bit spongy when moving it around. But that being said, it is a nice, sturdy joystick. You know, there's no sort of... doesn't feel loose in any way. It just doesn't really feel definitive. Hopefully that makes sense. These action buttons feel absolutely perfect. I've got absolutely no complaints with them whatsoever. They feel grand. So yeah, as you can see, it's just working so damn well. I mean, I love it. It is just such a beautiful thing. There was another one of these, very similar, called the Booster Boy, which was a lot more clumsy than this. This feels like a much more sort of dialed in little device, and yeah, I'm really, really impressed by it. You can see what I mean there if you have lights on. Obviously, once you turn the light source off, if you're in your bedroom in the dark or whatever, it is going to become a very, very nice screen, which has a front light, although it does look backlit, and that is because there's such even lighting going on here that the reflective film behind is very evenly lit and then emitting or reflecting a very even light source. So there isn't really any black spots or dark spots, especially not in person. It might look a little bit like that on camera, but I can assure you it's absolutely perfect. It might seem a little bit primitive, but obviously this sort of lighting technique was what people had to put up with in order to play their Game Boy games in the dark. So it is a really nice way to actually play your Game Boy in an old way and actually relive how it would have been back in the day. Now, unfortunately, I don't have an IPS modded DMG to show you what it would look like in here, but I do have an IPS modded Game Boy Pocket. So if I slide that in there, you can see it's a stunning thing, and it does work very well. If I just slide this up, that's obviously going to work very nicely and become... It's just so beautiful. I don't really know what else to say. It's just so beautiful. I love the sort of the curvature of it all. It's a really, really nice looking thing. Probably one of my favorite Game Boy accessories I've ever reviewed. Now, the final thing that I want to talk about is the sound, because, you know, with this kind of thing, it is going to be all about the experience that you're getting, the additional experience that you don't get from that Game Boy. And let me just show you how incredible these speakers are. So if I pump up this volume, unreal. The audio quality is exceptionally good. If I just turn that down a little bit. Obviously that was on full volume, but even just turned down halfway, this is the difference. I mean, it is night and day. Unbelievable. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, is the Konami Hyperboy. By far my favourite Game Boy accessory I've ever looked at on this channel. It's a stunning thing. If you can get one, please do. They are phenomenal. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed. If you've never seen this thing before, hopefully it's been a cool thing for me to show you. And yeah, I'll catch you all in the next one. Goodbye.